So, MrBeast is doing damage control. This is something that I thought probably wouldn't happen. Call me ignorant, but, you know, I don't watch Jimmy's content, and I just now found out his name, so I'll be using his name. Jimmy is a guy who's been around, he's known the platform, he's known the system, he's ran the system for so long that it almost seemed like he was like the perfect candidate, the perfect guy to be the face of YouTube. And everything was going great until one little dude decided to come out and throw a bunch of accusations his way. Now, some of the problem is, and I've seen some people try to defend it, there was an NDA that may have been, you know, breached. And which, yes, NDAs can't be breached unless those NDAs cover crimes. Now, some of the problem is what he did cover could have been a part of his NDA, and say the crime part is not. Alleged, by the way. And that's like the big issue that we're going back and forth. But just like a kid who pisses the bed and tries to hide the sheets, that seems to be what Jimmy's doing right now. Kid you not, I've been going through some of the most recent comments. I'm getting my words tied here. Most recent comments, and it seems like he's deleting them, or at least getting somebody to delete them. They're coming in mass. You got to think the video's gotten almost 50 million views, like usual. A lot of his videos do, and well, at the time of this recording, it was almost 60 million. Sorry, and it has actually reached 60 million. But his like to dislike ratio is actually what I want to talk about, because I think it's kind of weird that somebody like Drama Alert, which, don't get me wrong, they get things wrong here and there, so and it's not me taking a jab at them. They do, they know it, they usually address it. I think it's weird that they thought that the person to ask about where the real analytics were is going to be MrBeast, who may have an interest in lying about this, would be the, you know, the person of truth right now. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, pretty much he's getting ratioed, it looks like. And right now, the plugin, which I was given by a couple of my viewers, thank you. But the plugin right here is supposed to be being brought up into being scrutinized, basically, whether or not it's real. The stuff that was brought to, you know, everybody's attention right now is that it was supposed to be 4,000 dislikes, not 1.8 million. At the time, I think it was just 500,000. I don't think it's going to be between 4,000 and 500,000. There's no way I could even process that it could be that big of a difference. Now, don't get me wrong, this is definitely a plugin and we're at their mercy. This is whoever created it. It could be wrong. It's weird if it would be wrong this whole time. There's never been anyone trying to out that it's been wrong that I've seen. And if there is, I overlooked them, and that's my bad. But this whole time, this has pretty much been everybody's go-to to know where our dislikes went. Go ahead first and get some brain damage. Right here, we're going straight to new first. And there's a nice little way that they're trying to bypass the system. So if you don't know, on YouTube, as a content creator, you have full creative control over your comment section for the most part. Obviously, things get bypassed. Case in point. But basically, you can put in terms that will completely keep people from being able to put comment. This is the bypass they're doing, which is the beginning of the downfall of MrBeast. We remember your actions, Beastie Boy. That's actually kind of funny to me. You should be arrested. Is someone desperate? Address the situations if you're innocent. Why is everyone speaking without spaces? Because there is a filter. And more Chris Tyson stuff, because also if you, I see right here, this is one that's been deleted and within a minute. This is my understanding. If you can't look at the reply, it's a deleted message. It hit 14 likes within a minute and it's already gone. Now, that's the big issue right now, is that it seems like he's going into full panic mode. He hasn't addressed anything. The only person that's addressed anything was a guy named Chucky. And the allegations he addressed was like minuscule stuff that really doesn't amount to anything. It makes no sense to address the things he addressed when you still have the huge legal issues that have been, you know, they're being, you know, accused, and he's not addressing those. That's the thing that needs to be addressed. Jimmy himself needs to actually come forward and have this discussion, because his channel's too big to come down from being canceled. It is. Let's go ahead and face it. There's no way he will lose enough subs to actually lose his channel. The only way he would lose his channel at any point in time that I see is quite literally legal problems. That's the only time that YouTube would have to be like, okay, he's doing something he's not supposed to, and it's bad for our company. It's a bad look. He's always trending. He's like the #1 channel on YouTube, and if he doesn't get taken care of legally, there's a lot of hoop diving that would have to go through to get him canceled, quote unquote. And while I'm not one for canceling, I'm not a cancel culture person. Now, it's kind of crazy that this is being brought up, but apparently there's NDA talks that doesn't make any sense to me. So NDAs, if you don't know, is non-disclosure agreements. That means you cannot talk about things. So say I have a new design on a on a car. So my new design on my car has NDAs where everybody that's a part of it in engineering and all this sign the NDA, and you cannot talk about it. You cannot share it with anybody. It's super quiet on the hush hush. And if you do, and we find out you leaked it, this, that, and the other, you have a lawsuit on your hands or whatever. There's going to be legal repercussions. And the thing about NDAs is they do not cover crime. That was a big hoopla going on about it, I think around the time of the Me Too stuff, but definitely around that whole situation where people signed, NDAs, and then they were being exploited sexually. So a whole big ordeal. That's at least part of it, I know, that was used to, make a new, little part in NDAs where it could not cover crimes. If these NDAs, if they were going out after them for the legal reasons, would probably be because of certain leaked information that had nothing to do with the quote-unquote gambling, the legal gambling, or anything other. So that's going to be one thing I don't see him being able to do, because if you didn't know, he's also doing cease and desist, which is him trying to get some videos removed, getting some certain things taken off the internet, because I guess he got caught with poop in his pants, and now he's just trying to do damage control on that. Somebody I watch actually thoroughly, Atozy, he had one of his videos removed because of this, which is kind of shitty. He's one of those people, and he says in his video that he doesn't like bigger, big platform YouTubers and people with money using their money to bully smaller YouTubers or content creators, anybody that discuss anything negative towards them, any allegations, stuff like that. Like me, I'm not saying he's done any of this, right? My whole point of what I'm getting through and trying to do is just, I'm speaking on it because this is stuff that I think should be addressed. That's the only reason why I speak on it. I'm not saying he's guilty. Do I think he is? Yes, 100%. I do believe he is. But that's my personal, opinion. I'm not saying he's guilty, and I'm not saying all this to destroy his character. All this is just out there. And he could 100% cover this by literally speaking out against it and showing proof. Now, the screenshots that he was given, and he gave it to Drama Alert of all people, is not the best people to hand it to. I mean, he is literally one of the most prolific YouTubers on the platform for a while now. He's been a well-known household name. I mean, when you have over 300 and counting million plus subscribers, I mean, he literally gets roughly 10 to 15 million subs a month. You kind of have a priority. You have a whole thing where you should be addressing this, because it's not your job on the line. It is a plethora, a large amount of people's jobs on the line, all because this could be a problem. Now, to address the cease and desist. So a lot of it's coming down to NDAs and stuff like that. So the problem is, like I said, if it's an NDA, there would be information that Dogpack would have said that would have been classified under the NDA. Now, I don't think, obviously, the allegations of the sweepstakes and stuff would be a part of the NDA. It'd be almost impossible, because it'd be breaching, legality at that point. Because if they're faked or set up, that would be illegal, because it is actual people paying for the sweepstakes. Therefore, it would be a fake sweepstake, which basically right then and there would be a setup, and it would be illegal. So I doubt the NDA is covering that. Now, as far as paid actors, that's where we get a little funny. That's going to be a little funny. That would have to be more legit. Now, I know I covered a lot of all this, but I'm recovering it because of the deletion and him doing crowd control. And I'm elaborating a little bit more on it. But there's one other thing that kind of bothered me, that's been bothering me for a few days about this whole situation, and that is, the moral standpoint. I think people are confusing certain things with morals and legality. While, yes, you should definitely morally be the better person, there's talks about his signature. Now, I've looked around, and basically, from what I understand, now this is me dumbing it down. I'm giving you the Billy terms. Billy is dumb. He don't know all the legal terms. But basically, when you sell a signature, we'll put it this way. When you sell a signature, You're selling a gimmick. It's not his real signature. Therefore, anybody can sign it that is a part of his group and sell it legally because it's not actually like his legit signature. I forget the reasoning behind it, but it was super goofy and dumb, but that's the reason why it gets away with it. Now, is it morally wrong? Oh, yes, 100%. I think it's trash to sell fake, signatures. Now, there is a stipulation where people will do the signature and basically gets photoshopped in mass. I remember I bought a duplicate. It's a duplicate signature, signed Stone Cold Steve Austin, picture frame, and it just had a photoshopped, signature. It's not that big a deal. It's still his signature one way or another. It's just photoshopped onto, or at least copied or whatever. It was cool to have. It was neat, and it also wasn't $40-$50. It was like $15. I think it was just enough to cover the cost of everything, and I had it up on my wall for like my entire teenage year, back when I thought wrestling was the coolest thing. But like I said, this is just my opinion that he is guilty. That's just an opinion. I'm not saying he is. These allegations need to be addressed by somebody other than some nobody that nobody knows, and he needs to come forward and actually proof. Otherwise, he's going to have to deal with this for a while. And also defamation. That's going to be the weirdest thing. I think that's part of the cease and desist is basically them lawyering up and trying to go after him for defamation. And if anybody in the probably could get it, MrBeast might be the one. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that he would do that. And to me, that has to be the slimiest, scummiest thing to do when the allegations that are being presented are pretty, like, it seems real. So without trying to prove his innocence, I don't see why he would just go straight to suing. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.